All good?
I think so. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
What's up?
Hey.
How you doing?
Good.
Thanks for being here.
It's happening.
It's happening, dude. Finally.
You just sit down and it starts like that. I love
Yeah.
that. Okay.
So you haven't seen the videos.
No, I have.
Yeah, I mean, somebody commented once, hey, can you edit out the front
Right.
when you're just like sitting down? And I'm like, at this point, it's kind of the signature
Yeah.
opener.
Okay.
I just spent the entire time setting up, and now I'm like,
And I'm
hey,
like,
yeah. How are you doing?
I'm well.
Yeah,
I'm good. Yeah,
nice.
I'm good. Yeah.
Who are you?
Mm. Right into it. Who am I? I'm Charles Zaid. I'm Charles Zaid. I am a pop star.
Okay.
Um, some might even say I'm Seattle's only pop star. I might be the only one who's saying that, but I stand by it.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, dang.
I do.
Straight out the gate. Shots fired.
Straight out the gate. Yeah.
I like the confidence.
Thank you. I I like it too. It took me a while to get there for sure,
Yeah.
but even just saying that I'm a pop star took me a while to get there, but
Yeah.
loud and proud.
What was
Loud and proud.
that? um, yeah, I mean, scrolling through your Instagram, it was interesting because I feel like there there's a version of you that is pre-Seattle and pre-Charles Zaid,
Right.
and pre-video in a way
Mhm.
where, don't take this the wrong way. It's just me trying to understand you,
Right.
right? Where it's like, oh, there's this kid with a lot of confidence.
Mm.
Now you were doing the musicals and the yada yada yada, and you were maybe curating a little bit more.
For sure.
And then as you dive into your artistry, you start to be a little bit more vulnerable. Maybe I'm like, oh, he struggles with being in front of the camera early on. This was like 5 years ago, whatever. Being in front of the camera and so it was like a very endearing side of you that was like authentic and like nice to see,
Mhm.
I guess. Um, and then fast forward, now you're at where you're at now, and I feel like you have a sense of like who you are and confidence again.
Yeah.
Would you say that's accurate?
I would say that that is accurate. When I was younger, I think it was a lot more of faking it,
Mm,
or at least I wanted to be the people who I had admired or had put on pedestals in ways. Even as as younger me, I was, I think, doing that. Um, but I started to believe it. I
yeah,
did, and I do, and I needed that. Um, just being an artist,
yeah,
I needed that. It's hard to get people to believe you, even just saying you want to make music, let alone I want to be
mm,
a star.
yeah.
So yeah,
Um, where did the name Charles Zaid come from?
Charles Zaid, which a lot of people have trouble saying at times. Um, Charles is just my middle name.
Uh,
Thomas, Tommy, which you know me as, is my first.
it's actually not true. In my head, you register as Charles.
I know. I was actually thinking about that on my way here today. I'm like, who does J. Henry um, see me as now? Because I know
Yeah,
there's a difference for sure.
yeah. I mean, Charles. Even I think I mentioned this before. I'll go into my phone to text you,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Where the is Charles Zaid?"
Right, right,
I'm
right.
like, "Oh, damn. Okay, my bad."
And I accidentally even like I didn't know that it sends Tommy D. Like I put that on my phone as my name. I didn't know it sent it to everyone.
uh,
So now everyone has Tommy Diaz or not. I don't know. But
did it take you? So going through your Instagram, there was a it was like August 2018 or something where I first saw it presented.
mm,
Would you say that was like the moment you started sharing it? Did it happen before that?
I think it happened before. I was always playing around with my like username
Uh
handles
huh.
on social media. I loved social media growing up. I mean, I was 6 when my brothers made me a MySpace.
That's
Too young.
so crazy.
um, but yeah, I love social media, and also I love the idea of kind of just building a persona
Yeah.
even before I was making music. So it was always like the Charles
Mm,
Diaz, or
mm,
even when I was younger, I think like King Charles,
hmm.
and just I always was I liked that world. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like Tommy was for me
Uh
and
huh.
for my family and
Yeah.
for. But again, I liked building a persona.
Yeah.
Uh,
And so was it easy for you to adopt the stage name Charles Zaid? Like fully introduce yourself, lean into it.
it was it's a back and forth even now.
Yeah.
I'm like Tommy would be cool now that I'm like I have been like I've used the name Charles Zaid. I'm like Tommy kind of sounds slay, but no, I've sat with it and even just have had other people kind of tell me like, no, that's cool,
Oh
and
yeah.
I believe it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I used it, I started it, I knew what I was doing
Yeah.
when I put it out, and I also didn't want to change it. I don't want to be the person that changes their name constantly. Sorry, but
Yeah.
no shade. Um,
It's too late.
and
As
yeah,
I'm like thinking about changing my name.
right, right. No, but yeah, Zaid is my last name, just backwards. My last name is Diaz, so I still wanted to give homage
Yeah.
to myself, but also to me it feels like an elevated version
Mm,
of me. Even me just kind of separating the two in my mind. I really do like feel like I need the separation in the way that like when I step on stage, I'm stepping on stage as Charles Zaid. When I'm going into the studio, I'm Charles Zaid. But also even when I'm creating, I'm not always Charles Zaid. A lot of my music is Tommy, but
mm,
and I've referenced myself to Tommy,
yeah.
so I'm not afraid that people know my name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on that note, do you feel like there is a clear separation of the character that is Tommy and the character that is Charles Zaid?
Um,
Or is it more blurry?
I think it's not really. I wouldn't say it's either right now. I think maybe I want to bring I want to use Tommy in that like more me side probably in the future, in terms of like creating. But when I think of Charles Zaid, I think of a pop star, and I think of just someone who makes the world music for the world, for the general public. Essentially, I want everyone, and also everyone who loves music, to like what I create.
Yeah.
Balance.
Yeah. 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 Are there things that Charles can learn from Tommy and Tommy can learn from Charles?
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah. In my mind again, like I loved the divas growing up.
Mm,
Mariah Carey.
yeah.
I was on YouTube like before I loved Ariana Grande. It was Mariah. I was just doing deep dives of the people compare the two, but yeah, I just love those strong forces. So Charles to me is a little bit of a diva too.
Yeah.
I am too. Tommy is too for sure, but I am not afraid to show it when I'm
Hmm.
going on to stage or coming into a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need some water.
So
Parched.
parched. Um, so continuing along kind of like your origin story in a way, you talk about your brothers being a big influence. I'm gonna redo that. Y- you talk about your brothers being a big influence on you quite a bit,
For
both
sure.
in your Instagram, your music, conversations we've had before. Uh, do you have like an early memory
Mm.
of them and music that really sticks with you?
Hmm. Nothing specific really. It really was just the CDs that I was surrounded by
Mm,
constantly, and CD books, and you know just even this walking CD players that they had, and I'd steal their headphones, and it was just always them kind of sharing music with each other. They all liked their own things. I have three older brothers, so like they definitely have their own things that they like, but
hmm.
also shared interests as well. So it was kind of cool to just hear it all mixed in one household,
Yeah,
along with like the love that I had for like the pop girls. And even then, my brothers didn't shy away from like a Beyonce album or a
yeah,
Katy Perry album. So yeah, I was always surrounded by music, even though we weren't all like I wouldn't say we were any there were any performers other than like my brothers also sorry I'll take that back. My brothers were in theater too, so like
yeah.
I think that's why I also didn't shy away from
Mm,
stepping into theater, although I kind of did
you
shy
did
away from it.
early on or
um
recently?
Early on.
Oh,
Early
really?
on,
Why's that?
yeah. I think I was just again I even at a young age I was building a persona, and I was
Mm,
perception of things, and I didn't I don't know. I didn't want. I was a little scared to be the theater kid, but fuck that. I mean, I say that thought that as a young kid because you're always thinking, oh, what are my friends gonna think about me and
yeah,
whatever. But I was getting my friends to go to shows and theater shows, and it was just yeah, it was. I'm glad that I did it. Yeah,
yeah.
no regrets for sure.
Do you feel like having to like contemplate or work through your sexuality plays into
Oh,
that, especially
100%,
early on?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, I was cosplaying a straight boy even up until I moved to Seattle.
Hmm.
Um, Unfortunately. And I don't blame myself anymore for that. Like I think I was beating myself up a lot during and early after coming out, but I, I grew up in a small town. We grew
Yeah.
up in a small town. It wasn't. I mean, we have a shared experience in that, in the way that like yeah, it was hard to be perceived, uh,
To be seen.
to be seen,
Hmm.
and that's the place where everyone knows everyone. So it was nice to come here
Hmm.
and just let that go for sure.
Um,
Time. Gotta go. It's over.
bye.
Bye.
Um, yeah, I guess I am curious because my experience going back has only been positive for the most part.
Mhm.
And so I think there is like a lot of narratives uh, that I built up in my mind of like who would accept me and who wouldn't, and the experiences that I would run into or have to face. um, would you say that going back that you've had that people have been accepting of like the person that you've become?
Um, I would say I don't go back often. I don't
Mm,
really talk to many of the friends that I like grew up with, or at least like finished school with. Um, Other than the people that I kind of moved up here with, and we
yeah,
all moved up here from the same town, and most of us were creatives and artists as well. So it was nice to be surrounded by each other. But yeah, I don't really go back other than my family, and I think that's okay. When I first was putting out music, I did have a lot of support from the hometown, but
yeah,
it kind of dwindled. I think the more that I expressed myself, and
yeah,
um, it's hit or miss.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just put out a video of me making out with the guy,
Yeah.
and I lost like 15 followers.
Oh, sorry, did I? I'll follow back. I'll follow back.
I mean, it is funny though. Like, I think as artists, there's especially artists that have an otherness to them, which I think most artists do in some way. Um, it's the constant battle of like, how much do I expose, share, be authentic of who I am because I don't want to lose the small following that I have,
Right,
you know?
right.
Because it's so hard as a early, small, independent artist to build an audience. So it's like,
Hmm.
well, let me just cosplay, let me do the tap dance a little bit longer.
Yeah,
But at some point, that's exhausting.
it is. It is. And it was. Um, but also, I think now I'm kind of having fun with that
Yeah.
specifically. I think, like I said, I do want to, I want a lot of people to hear me, and not to say that like, and everyone isn't going to hear me because I'm gay, but it's just I want to play around with the idea of sexuality and
Hmm.
also just attraction, and I like the idea of a world where everyone can be attracted to their favorite artist. Or
Yeah.
wait, I don't know where I'm going with that. I lost it. I blanked.
Yeah. I think what I hear you saying is like, um, you're exploring the idea of being authentic about what your sexuality is, and the hope is that that allows people to feel comfortable about expressing themselves,
Yeah.
and that it is not necessarily like a turn off for folks.
Right.
Turn off in the sense of like they feel they can't follow you or enjoy your music
Right.
because you kiss guys and you like it,
Yes.
you know? Um, which I would agree with. Yeah. There's a lot of songs that guys write about girls that I still love because I go to the core of what it's talking about, and
Right.
it's talking about like loving someone,
Yes.
right? Or being infatuated with them or lusting towards them or what have you. Um, but talking about that in extent or going along with that point, through the progression of your three EPs, you do get that sense of your exploring and releasing more authenticity around sexuality and what have you. What was that like for you, knowing that your brother's on your album or your family's going to be listening to you talking about bottoming?
Right. What? Verse, bottom verse.
Bottom verse, verse bottom.
Right. Put the verse in front of it. I sorry that took me out. What was the question?
Like, what was that process like to like build up the courage
Right,
to be like, okay, I want to sing about this thing and my
right,
mom's going to hear it.
100%. So I with my first project, Love Charles, I did not even say he except for in one song, in like one little line of the song.
Which one?
It was I Know.
Didn't you? You talked about it during Open Your Eyes, though, didn't you? Slightly.
I don't think
You
so.
said something like "get it in" or "be in me."
Maybe,
I
but
there
like
was like one
there was
line. I'm like,
a
okay,
slight reference for sure.
you like spiritually. You're in
Spiritually,
me
for
spiritually.
sure. But yeah, and then with Waiting a Lifetime, that was kind of the theme of it.
Yeah.
The EP and also the song specifically was really just like I'm done waiting a lifetime to express myself. Um, and I was saying he and it and all of the I wasn't really shying away from anything there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last song being Bloodline, I
Mm.
literally used that song to come out, uh, which was kind of a crazy experience, and but it definitely helped.
Mm.
Uh, yeah.
And what was crazy about
I think just that I was using my art to come out I played it for my parents.
Hmm.
We kind of had a conversation before, and
Before.
before me playing the song to them, and
Okay.
it definitely softened the blow.
The song?
For sure, yes.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Because in my mind,
I know I'm talking shit for sure a little bit
yeah, I'm
by
like,
now.
oh wow, this is intense.
Yeah.
You're but also in a gentle way,
For,
right? So to
for
be
sure.
very specific, it's not you're not saying like F you,
No,
blah blah
no,
blah.
no.
It is, but you're challenging them.
Right.
Like, hey, using the first verse as an example, you preach all these things because of the thing that you believe in. Uh but that instills hate and fear in me,
Mhm.
right? Or what have you. Um so I think in the wrong hands that could have gone a different way. So what do you like how was that experience sharing that knowing that it could have been a little bit more volatile?
Mm. I think, I mean, before I played the song, the energy was very much "We accept you,"
Yeah.
uh,
Well, wait for the song.
which I'm glad about.
Yeah.
I'm obviously happy about now, and my parents are very accepting and learning, and it's a process, but also again they're very accepting for sure. I have three older brothers who I assume are straight, but
Yeah.
it was just me. Um, and yeah, playing that was, I mean, even writing it was again, yeah, like you said, I was, there were softer blows for sure that I was writing about, but now I do want my parents to know that, and I've told them this, that as much as they are accepting now, it was hurtful that I didn't feel like I could grow up in a space where I could come out.
Hmm.
Uh, and I think that's a lot about what the song's about.
Yeah.
Uh, the fact that I still love them, and it was a loving household, but again, it just didn't feel like the safest space that I could come out in. My parents are religious, and I think that was a fear of mine. I think even now today, I'm still a little God fearing,
Hmm.
um, and that played a part in it for sure.
Hmm. So when you say you're God fearing, is that to me what that sounds like is there's still a question of whether or not God believes homosexuality is wrong or not.
Right. And I don't believe that.
Okay.
I don't believe that. I did. I think I was scared that that
Yeah.
was a possibility, but
Yeah.
I never wanted to believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the more I've had my own experiences and just have learned about my relationship with spiritualism
Yeah.
and religion, I know that for me, God is love,
Yeah.
and yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
period.
Period.
God, mic drop.
um. Yeah. How much? Just out of curiosity, like how much was reflecting on my own experiences with people? I think a lot of the perspective of queer people comes from lack of access and exposure to them, right? Especially in the small town that we grew up in. And I had a lot of experiences where me being very open, vulnerable, authentic about who I am really allowed people to challenge themselves and and start to understand that maybe their notions of queer people were rooted in something that they no longer believe.
Mhm.
Would you say that that was true with your parents? Like it was just a matter of this is kind of all they knew because they didn't have a lot of queer people in their life.
I could definitely agree with that. I mean, you were one of the first, actual queer people that was around and that my parents were accepting of and that I heard, in closed behind closed doors that they were accepting of
Mm,
and that was nice. That was I mean that was a stepping stone for me,
yeah.
um, and my mindset. And but yeah, they weren't. I didn't have a lot of exposure other than I mean, I thank God, but also not thank God that I grew up with the internet.
Yeah.
Um, the internet's crazy, but also that was my exposure
Yeah.
to queerness
Hmm.
for sure. And then also, I mean, just as I grew up and learned more and moved to Seattle, and yeah, gay as fuck.
um, okay. Let's shift a bit, huh?
I love how I'm like, I don't have no idea where I start and where I end with my answers, but
It's a conversation. There is no start or
yeah,
end.
beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so let's transition. You moved to Seattle, spend some time here. Uh, I think again, just going based off timeline, you had some of these songs already written when it comes to Love Charles, right? Because I saw some videos where you're Never Know What Love Is, I think. You
Yes.
start you have a demo for it or something
Right.
and you're performing it. One quick side note, I need from you.
Right.
I I need a cover of Fallen
Ooh,
recorded in
Harry
the
Styles.
studio. Yeah.
Work. Okay.
Because I mean you have that on your IG and
I
it's
do. I
amazing.
do.
I love it.
I love it too. It's still there. That's why, even though I'm like, I kind of want to take it down.
Don't. It's good.
Yeah, I want to do more covers for sure and post them, but in like a cool way. I don't know. There's balance. There's balance. I'm like it doesn't really matter. I do want to do a lot of more just shit posting where I'm just camera phone there, record, post,
Yeah.
and which I do. I love, but I want to do some cool cover videos,
Yeah.
or just covers in general.
Yeah. Um, but you meet Talea
Yes, I do.
and you quickly become a dynamic duo.
100%.
What was it about? Because from what I understand, you met her through a friend and she was on a song with Nathan,
Correct.
who is also the GOAT.
Yes,
Love him. Um, and but I don't know how, I guess you reached out to her,
I
right?
did.
So what was it about her, her style, the energy or whatever that like really attracted you to her and wanting to like really build this relationship creatively?
Hmm. I will say. So, side note, the guy that introduced us, his name is also Charles.
Oh, really?
So, like, already the universe working. Um, I instantly fell in love with just her artistry, her flow, even just on the songs that I had heard at the time, and she seemed helpful. She seemed like she wanted to help artists in that at that time, especially it was like COVID, I'm pretty sure, and she was offering like discounted sessions and just it was my first session. Before that I was in my bedroom like blankets hanging up on the
Mm,
wall and trying my best to use Logic. I quickly knew that I needed help, and so yeah, I've been following her and booked the session. Took a couple friends with me because I was nervous as hell, and after that I didn't need to take any friends just because it just felt like a friend. She felt
mm,
like a friend from the beginning, and I'm also thankful that I found her. We found each other at the time, because we have been able to grow as friends and as colleagues, truly. Because yeah, I've said it before that there's no Charles Zaid, at least who I am now as an artist, without Talia.
mm.
Um, yeah,
What has been the biggest impact you feel that she's had?
I think just the way that she's able to bring people together.
Mm.
Um, she's introduced me to a lot of amazing friends and people, and also just, I mean, on her on and on my music, her the biggest impact is just she is not afraid to just sing. She's not
Mm.
afraid to fucking sing it. And I feel like a male engineers, maybe not specifically male engineers, but um they're afraid to stack these fucking vocals,
Yeah.
and she's not. Like, we're gonna throw everything we can at the
Mm-hmm.
wall,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll take whatever doesn't stick and throw it away, because I think that's the fun in it. We're creating as much as we can, and we can sit with it for a couple weeks, and I'm like, damn girl, we did a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but it's nice to just be able to. I'd rather pull away, take some stuff away than have to come back later. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's fun creating. It's
Yeah.
fun having her in my ear in the booth and having me do this run or that run,
Mm-hmm.
or and it's also very communicative in the way that, like, I can tell her, I don't know about that one, and
Mm.
she can do the same with me.
Yeah.
We'll challenge each other sometimes, and yeah, it's healthy.
Yeah, there is a importance of psychological safety,
Yes.
especially in those rooms where, in a lot of ways, like a recording engineer or an engineer is, like a hairstylist or a
Yeah.
therapist in that
Right.
way.
Right.
Like there has to be a no judgment or judgment free zone to explore.
Yes, and it's 100% reciprocated in the way that, like, we are having a 30-minute yap session, or
Hmm.
even close to an hour yap session, before we even get into the recording session.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, which is nice. Just to say that she's my friend. Uh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll also say that, you know, having the pleasure of recording you a couple times, um, it's one of my favorite things because you have and it sounds like Talea was a big help in this. You have a knack for finding interesting pockets and melodies and like rhythms and
Thank
using
you.
your voice really well. And it's like the oil paint that I then have to paint a canvas
Mhm.
and find like, where am I going to put all these things?
Yeah.
Where am I going to stack it and have you pop out from like the back right corner?
Right.
And
Right.
I love it. It's the best.
I love doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts for sure. And I have a hard time deciding what my favorite part of music is. I think I just love it so much, whether it's the stage or the creating part.
Why do you have to have a favorite?
Right. I agree. You don't.
Yeah.
I just love music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Michael Jackson or Prince,
Uh, Thank you. Yes.
whoever. Um, so you hit the studio, you make Love Charles. Um, I mean, I guess everyone wants to know. Do you now know what love is?
Ooh. So, I mean, I say it in the track list a little bit. It is kind of a way of, like, a story line. But I do. Even in the EP, I think I didn't really know what love is when I said I know. Um, Track 6, not on all platforms at all. um,
On Apple Music.
oh, iTunes, I think, right?
No, it's on Apple Music.
Again?
Yeah, that's where I heard it.
So maybe you just had it saved.
No, because I was on Spotify when it first came out.
Okay,
Yeah. And
I have to
then
look into that.
is it not supposed to be?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening,
Okay.
but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I am, because I do love it. I do love that project. It is a bunch of YouTube beats,
Hmm.
which I'm not ashamed of. I think I was so eager to create at the time, where
Yeah.
I just went for it,
Hmm.
um, which is also partially why I don't have it on all platforms,
Hmm.
because it was all YouTube beats. I don't know. There's a way around it. I'm trying to figure that out.
So what? So I guess what is it?
I know I started with a different question too.
Yeah, I mean everyone has a first project that maybe when they look back on it, it's like, well, I don't know if it was my best work, right?
Mhm.
Oh, wait for the next one. The
Right,
next one's
right.
dope. Okay. But so what is it about Love Charles that maybe you're uncertain about? Or why are you trying to like
I've sat with it. I've sat with that question also because I didn't mean to get it off of platforms. There was just like an issue or an error on the distribution end. Um, but I it's been 5 years.
I know, which is
It's
wild.
been 5 years, and I was actually trying to re-upload the 5 year anniversary. Again, having a little bit of trouble with that, but yeah, I do want to pay homage to it. I love the project. I was
Yeah.
I love it so much. I like I said, I was so eager to create. And not saying that like those are some of my best songs, but those are some of my favorite songs.
Really?
Even now, I love the freedom that I think I had. Although again, I was still teetering with sexuality and wasn't really speaking
Mm-hmm.
on it then. I was still just having fun
Mm-hmm.
creating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a recurring theme that I hear is like definitely in that album, a little in Waiting a Lifetime. It's this experience of like, I don't want to articulate it, really opening yourself up to someone and not feeling the reciprocation back
Mm,
and having to give up parts of yourself to maintain a certain level of love that you still want to like enjoy with someone. Um, would you say that's accurate?
I would say that's accurate. Um, I would say I feel like teeter with the idea of I'm also not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not always them. Sometimes it's me.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I would say
Yeah. Yeah. There's this, which I love. I love the nuance that I think you present, maybe intentionally or unintentionally, of you recognize you're not perfect or you recognize the situation isn't what you want, whether that's them or you. But there's also this humanness of like, but I still want to feel that,
I do. Yeah,
you know?
yes,
um, and maybe that comes, and maybe that's where like, I'll never know what love is comes from. Like you start out the gate of being like, I have the lyrics down here, but for the sake of time, there's like this push and pull, right?
yeah,
Of like, you give me this taste of it, but I don't know if that's really it, if I really sit and reflect on it.
right. And even me again. I think it was also me just being kind of scared to commit, and also at that time scared to commit because I wasn't out. I
Mm-hmm.
was still hiding parts of me. So I think that reflects in the music for sure.
Yeah.
Um, that's where that I think even that back and forth comes from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Waiting a Lifetime comes.
Yes,
And I feel like, I think with each project, you're shedding layers and you're like giving us more of you,
I would agree.
you know? And Love Charles, I think, uh, mm, you hid underneath ambiguous love. And Waiting a Lifetime is like, you know what? Let me take the mask off a little bit more.
Yeah, I was very much like fuck it.
Yeah. So I know Portia's interlude. Portia?
Yes.
Yeah. Um, really speaks to that. Did did you hear that and then think I need to make an album around this? Were you making the album and then she shared that? What was sort of the experience with that?
Yeah. Um, Portia, my great friend. She was there when I first performed in Seattle,
Mm.
um, more specifically Rainier, Mead Street, shout out, RIP.
R.I.P.
Um, yeah, she was there, and has just believed in me from the beginning. There's literally footage of her and her voices in the background. It's just like this guy's a star,
Mm. And did
and
she know you at that point?
did not know me at
Wow.
all. We didn't
Okay.
know each other, and we met each other that night for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I also feel the same way about her in the way that she walks in the room
Mm-hmm.
and she takes command, not even trying to. It's very unintentional. It's just who she is, and I admire that. Um, and so yeah, I think she's always been. I've always knew that I wanted her voice on a project, and probably more in the future. Um, but she seemed perfect. I feel like I can talk with her and share my ideas and music very freely. I know that sometimes I get kind of scared to share my music with friends, but again, she's been there with me from my music beginning, and she always has the wisdom that I need at times, and it felt perfect for everyone else to hear too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, I guess you were already working on the music, and you were intentional about wanting her part of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so, did she already have that written, or she wrote it specifically for your album
She
or
wrote
your
it,
EP?
wrote it specifically for the EP. We didn't even have a we had it actually had a different instrumental even.
Mm,
Um,
I love the instrumental.
I love the instrumental
Yeah.
now, and I loved it then too. But now we built it around her,
Yeah.
um, just kind of her sitting in my world even.
Mm,
Uh, but definitely it was a joint slay collab
mm-hmm.
for sure. Just having her share and speak on the.
Yeah.
She did it well. She did it so great.
Oh yeah.
I just was listening to it the other day. Even I'm like starting. I know the words at this point just because
Mm-hmm.
I'm like speaking it into myself. It feels like a manifestation.
Yeah, it's a mantra,
Yes.
and I think it on the surface level it speaks about being an artist,
Yes.
right?
Which
Um,
she is also.
mhm.
Yes.
Knowing the project and a little bit about it being you shedding layers and like really saying, fuck it, I'm gonna be me. There's also an element of, why wait to be who you truly are,
Right.
right? Just be who you truly are right now, right?
Yes.
And you could apply that to anything. Why wait to be happy? Why wait to be, you know, in love? I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess that's more nuanced, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, so I love the versatility of that as
That's
well.
that's definitely what it was for sure. Even just having songs like "Easy for Me" on there, it was like fuck this job in a way, like I want to make music every day, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like I'll do whatever I can. I think at the time I even wasn't working. I was like I had gotten laid off and was taking the state's money, legally,
Legally.
and and yeah, I was like, fuck, I want to break. I do, and
Yeah.
I know I'm still so young, but I'm an artist too, and that is like what I want to do every day. That's what I want to.
Yeah.
I just want to create. So
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of, it speaks to a lot of like just choosing you,
yes,
you know, even easy for me. I'm choosing me and not this job or not
yeah,
X, Y, and Z. I'm a bet on myself a little bit more.
100%.
Hmm. Do you have a favorite song on that project?
Mm, want to wait in a lifetime. Gosh, I would maybe say. I mean, Bloodline is that girl for sure.
Yeah, Bloodline. Yeah, of course.
Um, but also Wait in a Lifetime, the song itself. I think it was my first time I felt like I was experimenting with a fun sound or even kind
Mm,
of just fun different pockets.
mm-hmm,
It didn't feel like I was playing by the books.
mm,
Um, and I liked that. I enjoyed that being even just the first single or just the title track. Like, it didn't it had its own meaning in itself aside from even just Wait in a Lifetime the project.
yeah.
That one was more directed towards love
Mm,
and that's what I am. That's where I mean that's I think who I am as a creative deep down. Others I'm always creating from love
mm-hmm,
and experience in that way.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Um, I have a question, but hold up 1 second.
Oh great! I need a chapstick application.
Oh my gosh. Damn, it's already been 50 minutes. Gosh
It's
darn
okay.
it.
We can cut a lot of that.
It's crazy.
Mm-mm-mm. All
All right.
right, King.
How intentional are you with sequencing? Because now speaking about everything that we've spoken about, when it comes to waiting a lifetime, it feels poetic to end the album with you saying, "Dear Tommy, I'm proud of you."
Yeah. Um, the the sequencing is definitely um there for sure. I think I do. I love the idea of connecting things and also just building a world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I do start the project, the next project, Other Side of the Moon. The first song on the project is the first single, which was the one. Um, and I do, yeah. So Dear Tommy is how I end Bloodline, and I think going into this next era, um, you're getting Charles full force.
Mm,
Charles Zaid is all over it, and starting with a track like the one, um, I how do I start that? I say got left them all in the past.
mm-hmm. Look,
Everyone
all
who
in
said
the
this wouldn't last.
look at me now. Look
Look at
at
you.
you.
Getting out the valley was all I knew, and that I stand by. I live by that. I had to get out of there to be who I am today.
Yeah,
And that's genuinely no disrespect to where I came from. It's just I had to get out. I had
yeah,
to get out to survive. I think mentally, even um, like I said, I don't think I would be who I am today if I didn't. So yeah, I had to start. I feel like with that. But the song, the one is a reminder to myself that I'm that bitch.
mm-hmm.
But also in the song itself, I'm teetering with like, am I that bitch?
Yeah, yeah,
Like um, I have to get my head out of my ass. Is what I
yeah.
literally say. And um, yeah, I think you're getting Charles full force in this next project, and I wanted to start with a little bit of um, what's the word? I'm like blanking on a simple word here, but
Bravado.
no. um, oh,
What
the
did
one to me feels very
grounding?
no, but
I don't know.
I have to move on.
Okay. I mean,
That makes me sad.
there is a there's a level of confidence that I think you share in that song that isn't shared in other songs to the same extent, right? Like just going through your discography, there aren't many other songs where you're like, I'm that bitch.
All right.
But again, I think the the endearing thing about Charles Zaid is that even in that song, you explore the nuances of even feeling that way,
Right.
right? Um, Whereas, some people or some some artists, they would just like go full force into that, but that doesn't feel authentic to you. Like there is still like there's still times where you question it,
Right.
and like that's a very human thing to do.
I'm human.
We're all human.
And they say, why?
Tell
Tell us
them
that
that
it's
it's in
human nature.
nature.
Come on.
um, we did answer a lot of the questions I had.
No.
Let's see. Um, so I'll kind of dive into this. Yeah, see, you just answered that one. So, Love Charles, I think you're exploring yourself as like an artist, a new artist. You're exploring love, the question of like what is love, and ultimately like what is loving yourself.
Right.
Waiting a lifetime is the product of that. Of like I'm loving myself by saying fuck it and being me a little bit more. And so you're exploring what that means for you to be a little bit more free sexually or to bet on yourself more.
Right.
Um, what are you exploring with Other Side of the Moon?
Mm. Like I said, I'm starting with the one.
Yep.
It feels a little more personal to me. Just
The project
um
overall or just the one?
just the one, the
Okay.
single. But and that is because I think I'm referencing home. I'm referencing self-doubt. Um and then the next song, which was the second single, Get Up, uh I'm telling myself, get the hell up. Like you can be him. You can
Uh,
sorry, not him. I'm not him. But but I'm that bitch. You can be that whatever the fuck you want to be.
yeah.
As long as you get the fuck up and do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think where I go after that is like I said, I think I'm a little more certain of who I am and what I want to give and present, and in the music I want people to I just want it to be enjoyable.
Hmm.
There's nothing like that you have to crazy dissect or um get into. It's just it really is. I feel like it's good music for me. Like
Hmm.
it was fun creating, and I'm never like creating to like make a banger. But when I end the session, I'm like, wait, this is kind of a banger.
Hmm.
And I think where we go from that is I'm exploring. I've had the love, you know.
Hmm.
I've I've dealt with it, and I've not dealt with it. Sorry, but I've experienced it,
Yeah.
and I've dealt with the hardships
Mm.
of love, and because I think I ended so personally with Bloodline on Wait in a Lifetime, I did want to have fun with building a world and having a little nuance, but
Hmm.
also, like I said, just making good R&B pop records.
Hmm.
Um, and I think I've done that. I think the next three, uh, sorry, three? Yeah, I think the next four songs, sorry, because Other Side of the Moon is the third single, which will be out by the time this is out.
Hmm.
Um, I think they all definitely build the world. The world is. I kind of gave you the. I gave everyone the God. I can't even think of what. Nope.
No. So, so you're exploring.
Sorry, no. I'm like, do I even answer these questions? I'm like,
I'm
I'm just talking.
answering them for you. I was
Thank
kidding.
you.
Um, you're exploring what it means to be. No, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
It's okay. Well, I can tell you. I can tell you. I think what I went into creating, what I like, how I felt, or like what I wanted this project to
Okay.
feel like.
Yeah.
Um, because yeah, I wanted this era to be a little more sexy.
Okay.
I wanted it to be a little more grown, and also, again, like I said, for everyone to listen to.
Yeah.
So that means, like, if you're a girl who just broke up with her man because the stars told you to, like, this project's for you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. So I guess on that note, there is on the other projects, like I mentioned, there is like this understanding that maybe a situation isn't great for you, but still wanting it
right,
because you want to feel love or you want to feel whatever. And I think on this project, when you do reference there's the understanding and also the like, I'm not going to put up with that bullshit.
exactly,
Yeah, so there's this confidence
for
around it.
sure. Yeah. And like I said, I had set out to do that. I think I wanted to. I think with the other projects, maybe that was a little teetering of Charles Zaid and me being a little more personal, writing from like the Tommy perspective, and that's me just growing up. I think those projects were me growing up and also finding my sound. But I think that this project is Other Side of the Moon is very. She knows who she is, and she knows she's sexy, but she knows she's that bitch. Even though it takes a little convincing, takes a little coffee in the morning, maybe a little
Reminders.
weed. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get there,
Yeah.
and also I'm gonna put that confidence to use in other places, in
Hmm.
like my love life.
Yeah. Um, Interestingly, um, it's also a project where your tone of your voice is also lighter
Mhm.
and quieter. Do you feel like that's because you shed, or one could argue, based on everything we've talked about, is that the previous two projects you felt like you needed to be louder,
Hmm.
whereas this one you know you're that bitch, and so you could be quiet and still feel confident.
Right. I think that might be a little bit of it for sure. Like that even goes with the one. I'm not. I'm kind of saying I'm screaming from the rooftops, but I'm not necessarily
You're like
screaming in
whispering
the
it.
song. Yeah,
Yeah.
I I've also just had a lot of fun using my voice
Mm-hmm.
differently,
Mm-hmm.
and again, thanks to Talia, we've had sessions where we got to experiment, and also just we've re-recorded songs and grown over the time. So I
Yeah.
think I've gotten just better and had a lot more fun experimenting with my voice for sure.
So it's very intentional in terms of like switching it up.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Also,
This sun is like
I know
straight up on my face right now. I'll just go like this.
that works. Yeah. It looks cool though,
Yeah.
but I don't know how it looks on the camera.
I'll just
But
blind myself.
um, fuck, what was I gonna say? I don't know.
Um, I only have three more questions.
Sick.
Uh, do you ever look back at your Instagram or Love Charles and think, man, who is that?
Hmm. For sure. My Instagram, gosh, I'm like, now after this interview, I'm gonna go delete a bunch of stuff and hide it. But yeah, I think maybe like once or twice a year, I'll have a long drive where I'm like, let me go back. Um, and it's funny. A lot of times I'll start from the beginning and then get into the newer things, and then I'll start writing new stuff. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like even listening to myself, I'm like, wait, okay, cool. Like that's what I used to do. Let me. It just inspires me even in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely go back and I'm like. like I said, I felt a lot more free in the way that I was creating early on. Just like, sorry, not necessarily free, but I wasn't I was just so eager and so
Mm-hmm.
ready to create that
Mm-hmm.
I still have that in a way, but it's definitely it's cool to see to hear the younger me
Yeah.
express that.
Yeah. If you could go back to Tommy in 2018,
Mm,
who put a stamp in the ground with an Instagram post that said Zaid,
right.
um, what would you tell him? Or or what would you leave to have him figure out?
Mm. I would tell him that you're exactly where you need to be. You're
Mm.
doing exactly what you need to do, and that's who the fuck you are. Charles Zaid.
Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we haven't?
Hmm. Let me sit with that real quick. Is there anything that I want to talk about that we haven't yet? Um, just that I think, yeah, I don't know. I would say I want to be a star, right? But I think I can do that from wherever that is. I think I can do that from my living room, from my bedroom, um, and I want to do that from Seattle. I want to do that from Washington. I want to leave that stamp here.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I would say be ready for me, but also be ready to support because I want to support everyone else too, and also just where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it'll be a reciprocated love for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Are we going to get you into musical again?
please, I would love to. I would
Yeah.
actually. I've thought about it. What is it? Fifth Ave? Is that who they are?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like ready to
Hit him up.
audition. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. Okay. Um. All right. Last question.
Ooh.
Since you watch all the videos, you know what it is. Uh, I love giving flowers to people. Who do you feel like you need to give flowers to?
Mm. I feel like I have a long list, but off the top of my head, um, Talea for sure. Just for again building community, even though she didn't know she was doing it, for being a mentor. I
Mm-hmm.
think even though she didn't know she was doing it, um, just being a great friend and being honest with me when
Mm-hmm.
with my craft and yeah. I'd also give flowers to my brothers for fucking I think crafting my mindset of music and letting me also just share with them, even though they were kind of like at times Ariana Grande. Yes, bitch, Ariana Grande. Um, flowers to you, genuinely. Um, for again, like being stepping stones for me. I think even not a lot, not only with my sexuality, but also just like you and my brothers were some of the first people I seen just experimenting with music and even performing at graduation. I was like Jakey's a star too. So yeah, flowers to you, flowers to me, flowers to
Flowers to you.
everyone,
Flowers.
flowers to Kimmy also. Can I say
Kimmy.
that? Let
Oh
me
yeah, dude.
my
You
amazing.
almost forgot.
I could never forget.
Yeah.
Sorry, don't put words in my mouth. Flowers to Kimmy. She is not only my dancer, but one of my best friends, and someone that I know that I can do this with for a long time.
Mm,
Um, she's also someone who is a big part in Charles Zaid for sure.
yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Kimmy.
And she does dance classes, right?
She does dance classes for Drop Zone. Be ready for that. Come to that, please.
Is that where you're picking up all your moves?
So I'm picking up all my fucking moves. I told you I'm training. I'm training for this shit.
I love it.
Like it's a marathon.
Yeah.
Pop star is my marathon. Pop
Yeah.
stardom is my marathon, and yeah, in the way that in the way that I don't know if you know who Cat's Eye is, but they're
Yeah.
following the K-pop methodology. I'm following the pop girl methodology.
Yeah.
I've always been inspired by women, and just women who create music and who are artists. And
Hmm.
I mean that falls with Kimmy and Talea, and yeah, just constantly inspired. So
Love that.
flowers for everyone.
All right. Charles Zaid, the one.
Jay Henry.
Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
Thanks for sharing.
Of course. Maybe too much, but
Never.
always.
Never. Never too much.
Love it.
Um, that's a wrap.
It's a wrap.